He was the face of justice in Detroit, the officer who cleaned up the streets until the streets started whispering about the bodies he left behind. This is not a story about a cop who broke the law. It's about a system that protected him while he did it.
On a gray November morning in 2021, a body was found behind an abandoned warehouse on 8 Mile Road in Detroit. It was Daniel Vega, a 24-year-old former gang affiliate turned confidential informant for the Detroit Police Narcotics Task Force. He was due to testify in court the following day against a notorious drug ring. The autopsy ruled it a suicide, heroin overdose. But Daniel hadn't touched a needle in over 2 years. He'd been clean, verified through rehab records and bi-weekly drug tests. No needle marks were found on his arms, only a faint injection in the neck. Odd? Yes, but not impossible. In Detroit, sometimes people just die, or so they say. The man who had helped flip Vega into an informant? Officer Jonathan Price, a 17-year veteran of the force, decorated for bravery, and the public face of Operation Clean Sweep, a multi-agency initiative that had brought down 6 major drug operations in the past 5 years. Price was everywhere, on posters, at press conferences, even featured in a 60-second TV spot that aired during the Lions Thanksgiving Day game. A hero, at least that's what people believed, until someone started asking questions. A young freelance journalist and podcaster named Elena Morse first noticed a pattern while researching a side project called Ghosts of the War on Drugs. She wasn't even looking at Price. At first, she stumbled onto Vega's case while investigating suspicious deaths among low-level informants. The name Daniel Vega led her to a series of sealed court documents and buried indictments. Then she found another name, Marcus Scully Red, an ex-con who had agreed to testify in a 2020 drug trafficking case. His body was found days before the trial. Overdose. The presiding judge sealed the records. Case dismissed. Both informants had one thing in common: their handler, Officer Price. Digging further, Elena found 4 more. One was gunned down in a supposed drive-by. Another, shot during a botched robbery outside a liquor store. One had hung himself in county lockup. All within 72 hours of scheduled testimony. All with sealed files. All tied to narcotics cases led by Officer Jonathan Price. What looked like coincidence now smelled like a cover-up. Elena went deeper. She requested body cam footage, radio logs, and internal affairs reports. Most of her requests were denied or delayed, so she changed her strategy. She found an ally inside, Detective Raul Green, a former partner Price who retired early after a nervous breakdown. Privately, Green told her,
"I used to think he was a savior. Now, I think he's a ghost with a badge."
Green handed over something explosive, a collection of unredacted wiretap logs from 2019 that hadn't been scrubbed yet. In one transcript, a suspect is heard saying,
"Yo, man, I'm done talking. You hear what happened to Dre? Price got him. Dude, don't play. If you snitch, you vanish."
Still, it was circumstantial. Then came the leak. A Dashcam clip, time-stamped January 14th, 2020, showed Price transporting an informant, Raymond Ellis, to an alleged safe house. The car's audio was supposed to be muted. It wasn't. Price's voice.
"You nervous? Don't be. You ain't making it to court, Ray."
Minutes later, the footage goes black. Raymond's body was found 3 days later. Overdose. No arrest made. Elena released the audio on her podcast Cold Echo. Within 48 hours, the clip had over 2 million plays. National media picked it up. The Detroit PD issued a statement saying the footage was manipulated and part of a smear campaign. But the pressure worked. A grand jury convened quietly. Elena kept digging. Why would a decorated cop kill the very people helping him clean the streets? Detective Green had a theory. He wasn't cleaning up crime, he was managing it. Turns out, Price's drug busts weren't as airtight as they appeared. Many of the major cases lacked clear evidence. They relied almost entirely on confidential informants. The pattern was chilling. Step 1. Flip a small-time dealer with threats and promises. Step 2. Use their intel to launch a high-profile raid. Step 3. Once the case was filed, eliminate the informant. Step 4. With no witness, the case collapsed, but the public never noticed. The headline still read, "Price Bust Cartel Cell." It was a cycle of staged victories, boosting both his reputation and his funding. His task force received millions in federal grants based on successful arrests. But there was another, darker motive. According to Internal Affairs memos leaked to Elena, Price was under quiet investigation in 2018 for potential links to the Red Hand Crew, a rogue narcotics ring within the police department that skimmed money and drugs from busts. If informants ever talked, he risked exposure, so he made sure they didn't. Despite national attention and mounting evidence, getting Price arrested wasn't easy. The blue wall held firm. Fellow officers refused to testify. The DA hesitated, fearing a ripple effect on every case Price ever touched. It took a final piece of evidence to break it open. Elena obtained a confession, not from Price, but from a former informant who had escaped Detroit after surviving a staged overdose. In a private recorded interview, he described how Price had injected him with a non-lethal sedative to stage a suicide, but he awoke in a dumpster and fled the state. His name was Calvin White. He agreed to testify on one condition, that the trial be federal, not state. The FBI stepped in. In April 2023, Officer Jonathan Price was arrested at his home. He faced 12 counts of conspiracy to commit murder, obstruction of justice, and witness tampering. He pleaded not guilty. During the trial, Price's defense portrayed him as a warrior cop, forced to operate in moral gray zones. They painted Elena as a sensationalist with a vendetta, but the jury heard the tapes. They saw the dashcam footage. They read the court records with sealed informant deaths. Cases reopened after Elena's podcast forced their hand. In November 2023, Price was convicted on 9 counts. He was sentenced to life without parole. The city of Detroit issued a public apology to the families of 6 murdered informants. Elena's podcast won a Peabody Award, but she says the victory fell hollow.
We didn't just lose good people. We allowed a killer to wear a badge. And worse, we applauded him for it.
This wasn't just one corrupt cop. It was a system that rewarded him, shielded him, and sold him as a hero. And all it took to unravel it was one journalist, a few open files, and a microphone.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more chilling true crime stories.